It's not often that you can experience humid, gusty 60-degree conditions and dry temperatures approaching 100 degrees in the course of an hour. But I did that behind the wheel of a 2024 Mercedes-Benz C-Class Cabriolet on the volcanic island of Tenerife. Part of Spain's Canary Islands, Tenerife lies off the coast of West Africa and has several microclimates, ranging from idyllic sand beaches to arid lava fields to the alpine climate of the snow-covered dormant volcano Mt. Teide. The twisty roads leading up toward Mt. Teide proved to be an ideal place to show off the three-season capability of the new C-Class Cabriolet and its fun grand touring chops as well. Like the 2024 Mercedes CLE Coupe I drove last year, the CLE Cabriolet replaces both the compact C-Class Cabriolet and the midsize E-Class Cabriolet with elements of both cars. To let drivers go top-down in cooler temperatures, it also gets an evolution of the air cap system that helps divert the wind away from passengers and the airscarf neck-level heating system. These systems proved vital as I experienced a 40-degree temperature swing in the time it takes to watch an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Mt. Teide rises 12 to 188 feet above sea level and is often covered by an inverted cloud layer. On the drive up toward the peak, I activated the air cap button on the center console to limit the amount of wind that could get into the cabin and make conversation with my drive partner easier. Without the wind buffeting the cabin, it also kept it warmer as we ascended. Air cap consists of a windshield header that pops up 3.9 inches. It pairs with a rear wind blocker that rises from behind the rear seats to direct air over the cabin. Activated with the touch of a button, it makes a notable difference for a calm cabin, especially if you keep the side windows up. A look I find rather nerdy, but my drive partner argues is perfectly fine. Using the air cap system is great for isolation, but it's not ideal for fuel economy. The CLE Cabriolet has a coefficient of drag of a slippery 0.97 with the top up, and that rises to 0.31 with the top down. Air cap increases the CD to 0.35, which is about what you'd expect with the top up in a coupe 10-20 years ago. The upshot: expect to get 1-2 less mpg when driving on the highway with the top down and air cap activated. The brakes may have struggled, but the engine certainly didn't. The CLE 450 gets a turbocharged inline-six that makes 375 horsepower and 369 pound-foot of torque. It's aided by a 48-volt electric motor in the transmission that can add up to 23 horsepower and 151 pound-foot for short bursts. In an arrangement that makes it a mild hybrid, the powertrain pushes the CLE 450 from 0-60 miles per hour in a Mercedes quoted 4.2 seconds on its way to a 130 miles per hour electronically limited top speed. It's backed by a 9-speed automatic transmission that sends its power to all four wheels in both models. The Turbo 6 moved the CLE 450 with gusto, easily accelerating hard even when going uphill. The 9-speed provided better access to the power in sport mode, and sometimes dawdled to shift in comfort mode, but I never wanted for more power. A 4.2 second 0-60 miles per hour time is Mustang GT territory, and it's one of the main elements of this car that makes it so fun. It's also tuned to be less boisterous than in other applications, with a quieter engine note and none of the pops and crackles of an AM version. CLE 300 4MATIC buyers get a 2-liter Turbo 4 that spins out 255 horsepower and 295 pound-foot of torque, teamed with the same transmission, 48-volt system, and all-wheel drive. It's pretty quick, too, with a 6.2 seconds 0-60 miles per hour time. I didn't drive it in the Cabriolet, but I did in the Coupe, and can say it has good power for most any need, and its front end feels lighter. The CLE is larger than the last C-Class Cabriolet. At 199 inches, it's 6.5 inches longer overall, and its 112 8-inch wheelbase is an inch longer. It's also 2 inches wider at 73.3 inches and 0.6 inch taller at 56.1 inches. Compared to the last E-Class Cab, it's a ½ inch longer and 0.2 inch wider, but its wheelbase is 0.3 inch shorter and it sits 0.2 inch lower. Unlike the CLE Coupe, Mercedes makes no claim that the Cabriolet's suspension is tuned to combine the C-Class's sportiness with the E-Class's comfort. However, an engineer told Motor Authority that the CLE Cabriolet is tuned for a softer ride with more body roll than the CLE Coupe. That doesn't mean the CLE Cabriolet is sloppy on the road. Like the CLE Coupe, the Cabriolet has standard 4-link front and 5-link rear suspensions that afford a lot of individual control of each wheel. It also sits 0.6 inch lower than a comparable C-Class sedan.